Hey, welcome. This is Dan Jones, Carolina Real Estate Experts, and the purpose of this video is just some frequently asked questions that we get often from folks who are looking at our team and thinking if this is a good fit for them. So what I want to do is just kind of put some together some expectations and kind of what our training's about, who we are, who we're about. You probably watched the video, are you the right fit for our team? This just basically goes into a little bit more depth around what our training looks like and our training process. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of go through training structure and what that looks like. So our training program is 5 weeks. You can see it is fairly structured. You are in the office for all of these trainings. Even with COVID, we're doing social distancing, wearing masks when we're up and about out of our work areas throughout the office. So this is your daily schedule here. And this is kind of week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. All right, I want to talk about expectations after graduation here in a moment, but I wanted to kind of go through as well. These are some of the things that you're going to be working on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 of your first week of training, and day 6. It is very fast-paced. There is a ton that you have to learn, and I would just want to emphasize how many hours it is on a roughly basis. So you saw the 8:15 to 5 on a Monday through Friday basis. I'd be prepared to do an hour and a half to 2 hours of homework and extra studying at least in the evenings. And on the weekends, I would plan on doing about 5 to 6 hours. In addition, for additional training, additional listening, additional practice. Through the training process, there's 3 things we like to focus on, and you have to have a significant grip on in order to continue being a part of the team, and it takes a lot of work and effort. So the first part is scripts, role play, and objections. That's all one. We have several objections, several scripts that we spend time with. So if you've never done that at a high level, you have to kick it into high gear and do a ton of extra practice. We've learned folks just kind of recording themselves on the phone with a script that they've learned and just cover it up. Has worked extremely well. Some people like to write it. That's worked well also. Systems is number 2. We have tons of systems from our CRM to learn, for Mojo Dialer, how to handle leads, things along those lines. So CRM here. And then finally, we have face-to-face conversion. So the 3 categories: scripts, systems, and face-to-face conversion. Face-to-face conversion is getting in front of people, which requires scripts. Systems is recording it, sending it through. And then face-to-face conversion is getting people to sign with you the moment we meet with them, and influencing them and learning our buyer presentation like the back of your hand. Okay, so during training, a lot of people ask, hey, I have a sphere of influence, I have a friend who's looking to buy. We don't say you can't work with them during your training period. However, we do say that there are no showings Monday through Friday from 8:15 to 5. Everything needs to be in the evenings or the weekends on your showings, and it cannot and will not interfere with training, just so we're all 100% clear there. We do have a daily huddle call that happens even during your training. That's Monday through Friday. Thursday, we have our team meeting, so there is no huddle. The team meetings usually last hour, hour and a half. Sometimes they're in office. Most of the time they're on Zoom. Now, making dials during your training, people often ask, okay, what does that look like? So during your training, you are making a lot of dials to practice the scripts that you're learning. So people ask, okay, what happens to the leads? So the people you talk to that are ready to go see houses right now, we set appointments for people on the team, and we train you how to do that. And when they close, you will earn a commission or a bonus, either way you want to look at it, 5% off of anything that closes. You will earn a commission. However, anyone who is not ready, who's a nurture, who's 2, 3, 4, 5 months out, that goes into your CRM, into your Boomtown account, and you start working on building a pipeline. So once you're done with graduation, you have 15, 20, 30 people in your pipeline that you're working with and talking to in regards to showing houses and just getting them hooked up on the website. Also, it is worthy to note that during your training, you should prepare for some evening and weekend ISA shifts. So basically, you would be on opportunity time, which the rule would be on you. So all new leads coming in would come directly to you, and you'd be calling them. You will have a couple of shifts a week, from 2 to 3 for practice. Like I said, anybody looking for houses right now will be set for the team. And then anybody who's 2, 3, 4 months out or just not qualified yet will go into your boomtown to work and get qualified, and so forth. So that's how that looks as well. So what's the expectation after training? So you get to the 35 days, assuming you graduate. Not everyone does. At that point, you have 90 days to write 6 contracts. You don't have to close, but you have to write 6 deals in order to continue having a seat on the bus. Okay. So what does that mean? It means you got to bust your ass, right? You have to be on the phones, like setting appointments, getting in front of people. And during your first 30 days after graduation, you are in office from 9 to 12 doing new business development on the dialer. And then you have plenty of opportunity to ask for the quals, to take opportunity time shifts, to get in front of more and more people, to get to the finish line of your 6 written deals in 90 days. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And you sign up for opportunity time shifts, most of the time, a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. And you can often take people's opportunity time shifts, right? So that's what that looks like. Now, a lot of people say, like, well, what should I expect from the team? You should expect access to a lot of leads to call. A lot of people in the dialer, people who've reached out to us the last 3, 6, 12 months, which are often people who are now ready to buy. You can expect, once you get to closing 2, 3 deals a month for several months in a row, usually 5, 6 months, we will start feeding you more from team set appointments that will go directly to you. But you have to pull your weight first and dive in and set your own appointments at the very beginning. And I would ballpark at least 5, 6, 7 months. You'll probably see a couple appointments from the team, but team set appointments will start coming more and more as you start closing 2, 3, 4 deals a month on things that you convert yourself, team leads, inbound phone calls, opportunity time shifts, friends and family, dialer shifts, right? Once you can prove yourself, you'll start receiving more and more from the team. Okay. So oftentimes people say, like, well, what's the splits? What's the take home? We can go over the splits all day. We like to focus on the take home, and usually a first year agent on average, from about 3 to 4 years worth of numbers, is usually in the ballpark of 110 to 120,000. We've had one person reach 150. We've had a couple in the 140s, handful in the 120, 130. But in general, we've had some 80s and 90s, and most of the time, those folks end up not long term with us because they just can't keep up the pace and the expectation. So 110 to 115 is a general good ballpark of a first year agent. And time, how much time does that usually take? You should be prepared to work at least 50, if not 55, 60 hours a week your first year in real estate. There's a reason 98% of agents fail. And in my opinion, not selling at least 25, 30 deals your first year is failing. And that's probably closer to 99.5% of agents do not do that. You're required to sell 30 on our team, right? So with that, there is a lot of work, and you should be ready to expect 50, 55 hours, and even 60 some weeks, to make things happen and continue having a seat on the bus. And like I said, we're not for everybody, but that's our expectation. Now, I want to talk about what happens in year 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do we always want to see you work 50 and 60 hours? The answer is no, right? We want to work smarter every single year and develop better and better systems and tools that work for you. So in year 2, your goal is, suppose you sold 34, 35 deals your first year. In year 2, the goal is to sell the same, but instead of 55 hours average a week, how can I get to 47 and 48? That becomes better phone skills, better face-to-face conversion, better understanding what people are looking for. So most of the time, agents on our team, they know they could sell 50, 60 deals, but they do want to have a life, right? So our main focus after we get to the first 12, 18 months is to identify what we're really good at and make it better, identify what we're not so good at, make that much, much better. So every single year, so as we're going into year 3 and year 4, we can get close to a 40, 45 hour work week and still sell 35, 40 deals, more if you want, but with better systems, better follow-up, more SOI touches, more past client touches, and the team helps you a lot with that. Our goal is not in 4 years to have you work 60 hours and sell 35, 40 deals. Right, if your goal is 40 deals every single year, the question becomes, how can we do it in less time with more support each and every single year? Okay. One of the things that's really important to us as well are goals. We focus a lot on goals, and you will meet with me personally once a quarter to review your goals. and you review your goals once every 2-3 weeks as well. Measure and track your goals. One of our core values is a growth mindset, and not just in real estate, but just in life. So you will be expected to do that as well. And then finally, a lot of people ask about our lead sources and want to see let me see if there it is. So these are inbound phone calls that we get here, and you can see how many people are calling us about real estate on a monthly basis. There are a few sales calls mixed in there, people always trying to sell us something. And then let's go to lead sources. And people are like, oh, okay, we get this, one listing or one whatever, we're gonna get all this traffic and all these leads. So you can see, like, we get a lot of people organically coming through our boomtown. There's a lot of other pieces to the puzzle. Realtor.com is pretty big. So you can see 549 and 640 total leads. That's over the last 30 days. So some people are like, oh, all I need to do is go get a couple of leads and I'll sell some houses. The answer is no. That's like almost 1,100 leads for about 7-8 people, right? We scrub a lot of leads and call a lot of people to get high quality transactions. So you can be talking to 10 people, but if only 1 or 2 of them ever do anything, you got about a 60% chance, an average agent 60% chance of converting something like that. Versus if we're talking to 10 people, actually we'll talk to 25 or 30, get 10, 12 good ones and sell 8 of them a house, right? So that's what we're looking for in regards just to conversion. And then just, the last thing I guess we have is, we do start out in your first 25 deals. So people often ask, can I take listings right away? And the answer on our team is no, right? So everyone does 25 buyer deals before we start training on listings. Okay, so if you're an experienced agent, we will let you do, the last 12 months, max 10. We'll look at how many deals you closed. So if you did 6 or 7 in the last 12 months, we're going to start you out at 6 or 7, whatever you have closed just in the 12 months. If you've been in real estate for 18 months and have only closed 7, no, we're looking for the last 12 months. If you've only sold 4, your number is 4. Then how many do you need to sell on our team in order to get to 25? 21. So you would need to do that before we started seller training. And depending on what time of the year it is, we don't always start right away, because we're in the middle of July or August. It's probably not the best interest to start taking you away for 2, 3, 4 hours a week to do listing stuff, training. So that's just kind of, best use of judgment around that. So once you get to 25, what happens? You become a junior partner on the team. Your splits do change a little bit. And then from there, you do have a sales coach for your first 25 deals. They're there, pretty much as possible. And then if they're not available, you have 2, 3 other people who can help you write contracts, negotiate, questions on leads, things along those lines, and for support. And then finally, you go to a senior level agent. Once you get 25, we got 50 deals, and then your splits change. And then for your listings, so you go through listing training, then you're able to start fishing for your own listings. We do expireds, FSBOs, some of our own general leads, your sphere of influence, past clients, things along those lines. In your first 5 deals, you will have a sales coach. It would be a new sales coach around listings. They will help you pull numbers, go with you on your listing appointment, and just to make sure you do everything that you possibly can to get the listing, and you do everything right the first time. You can expect about 2.5 months for seller listing training, and we do have a full-on seller playbook here that you will learn and script out. We're competing with a lot of heavy hitters, and listings are very, very difficult to come by, so we don't take listings very lightly. But I hope this has helped. This is a bunch of Q&A that we usually get, and I just want to make sure everything's transparent for folks on who we are and what the expectation is. And some people think they can, handle the amount of work and information that we give that quickly. But our goal ultimately is for you to sell more houses than folks who've been in the business 15 or 20 years in their first full year. And a lot of people cannot handle that, even though they think they can. So like I said, we're not for everybody, but if you think you have it in you to be a part of our culture and to be a part of our work ethic and just impact lives through real estate, then this probably is a good fit for you, and I would continue with the interview process. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to hearing from you soon.